Hi, this is Jim Mulholland with Sci-Fair Real Estate. Today I'm coming to you to talk to you about the master plan community of the Grand Prairie in Hockley, Texas. So the Grand Prairie is about 1,730 acres. It's being developed by Ember Real Estate Investment and Development Company. As I said, is actually the first master plan community to be developed in Hockley, Texas. There's a couple since, most notably Jubilee has started developing there also. When it's all said and done, they're planning on having about 6,000 homes in the Grand Prairie. So right now, home prices kind of range from the mid 200s up to the 600s plus. If you look at the RCLO top 50 master plan communities in the country, the Grand Prairie is right here at number 17. So 639 sales overall in 2025. It's actually the fifth highest rated master plan community in the Houston area. That is behind Sunterra, Tamaron, Anniston, and Bridgeland, which is number 11. So, and the kind of the cool thing is every one of those master plan communities in Houston are all west or northwest. So that's kind of where the entire city is growing. If you don't know much about Houston, the only one that is not west or northwest will actually be Meridiana down in Rocheron, which is south of Houston proper. So to give you an idea where the Grand Prairie is, it is northwest of Houston. That's where Hockley, Texas is, just outside of Cypress. So, and the Grand Prairie sits conveniently located just outside of that Grand Parkway in Hockley, Texas. So here you can kind of see the master plan. Right now, the Grand Prairie is developing these two sections here, the section in the southeast quadrant and the section in the northwest quadrant. So kind of give you an idea on the commute from the Grand Prairie to different parts of the Houston area. So it's about 6 miles west of the Grand Parkway. If you want to get to Cypress and all the shopping and dining and what Cypress has to offer, you're about 5 minutes away from basically the Grand Parkway, Highway 290, Fairfield, Outlet Mall district. So close to that. And then to get to the Grand Parkway, to then be able to commute to Katy and the Woodlands, it's about 10 minutes to get to the Grand Parkway. If you're working in the energy corridor, you're looking about 35 to 40 minutes, maybe a little quicker if traffic's not that bad. Downtown Houston, about the same. And Intercontinental Airport, about the same, 35 to 40 minutes. So it is pretty conveniently located. In terms of the amenities in Grand Prairie, there are a lot of nice amenities. It's highlighted by the 70-acre Lake Ember, which I can only assume was named after the developer, Ember Development Company. But it's a centerpiece of the community. It's a big lake. And then right there off of Lake Ember is probably the most unique amenity in almost all of Houston master plan communities, and that is Overlook Hill, which is just a big hill that you kind of can walk up in a spiral shape, get to the top, and you kind of just can overlook the lake and overlook the community. It's kind of just gives you a very unique picture of what the Katy Prairie, that kind of environment looks like. So again, very unique, good exercise to be able to walk up that hill, because we just don't have any hills in Houston. So to actually have a hill to walk up of in Houston is kind of unique and pretty cool. About 20 miles of trails. They got two amenity centers. One is the Starlight Complex that is in the north section of the Grand Prairie. but it's pools, pickleball courts, playground, clubhouse. So all the kind of things that you would expect in a master plan community in Houston area that has it. And the one that they're just now completing that I got some pictures and videos of is called the Sun Dancer Amenity Complex. It is the flagship amenity center. It's going to have a 6,700 square foot open air pavilion, resort style pools, including an adult pool and a family leisure pool, a splash pad, playground, and an event lawn. Floor to ceiling glass is designed to frame the community's signature sunset views, but the whole amenity center is going to have indoor co-working space and event space. So it looks really nice. It's not even finished yet, but from driving by, it looks like it's going to be state-of-the-art stuff. So again, very unique for this neighborhood and kind of something that the residents of the Grand Prairie are definitely looking forward to. It should be done by the summer, and yeah, it'll be great. So in terms of schools, the Grand Prairie is located in Waller ISD. So it is currently zoned to Holloman Elementary, Waller Junior High School, and Waller High School. So if you want to look at kind of get an idea of where these schools are located, so you're talking about, that takes about 10 to 15 minutes to commute. So to the elementary school, and then the junior high and the high school are all kind of in a similar location near the downtown area of Waller. They do plan on building. There is a slot inside of the development to build a new elementary school, so that'll be convenient. No plans on exactly when that's going to be complete, but with the amount of development going on out in Waller and everything to the west of the Grand Parkway, I assume that's going to be here within the next couple of years, but that will be very convenient. It's always nice to have an elementary school inside the development where you live. So currently there are 6 builders in the Grand Prairie. Those builders include Perry Homes, David Weekley Homes, Shea Homes, Lennar Homes, Village Builders, and Westin Homes. So again, they vary from 40-foot lots up to 65 and 70-foot lots. Shea Home being the most, building the largest homes right now. Those homes are going up to 4,000 square feet, and those are all being built on 60 and 70-foot lots. Lennar is probably going to be your starting home. Those are starting in the 250s, and then it kind of goes up from there. So I will say that the Grand Prairie is nice in that they have a very nice model home park. There's actually a little park inside of the model home park that's, I guess, an empty lot right now, but they made it a park where you can kind of get more information about the Grand Prairie. Has different signage and just information about the development, which is kind of cool and unique for a master plan community to have that. So looking at pricing and market trends in the Grand Prairie, right now homes are averaging about $270,000 is kind of the average price of a home in the Grand Prairie, with dollars per square foot of about $150 a square foot. So it is going to be one of the more affordable areas in Houston right now. Prices, the actual sales peaked in November 2024, about when it started opening, and they had a few new sections open. But currently they're kind of staying in that, they sell 30 to 40 homes a month. In terms of taxes in the Grand Prairie, so you do have a MUD and you do have a WCID in the Grand Prairie. Everyone shares the same WCID. That is WCID 164, and the tax rate on the WCID is 0.4%. There are 2 different MUDs currently being developed in the Grand Prairie. One is MUD 570C, which is a 1.1% MUD tax. And then you also have MUD 576, which is also 1.1% MUD tax. When you combine those taxes with the Waller ISD taxes and the Harris County taxes, your total tax rate works out to about 3.2 to 3.3%. If we look at a $275,000 average home price in the Grand Prairie, you're looking about almost $9,000 of taxes, $8,952 to be exact, if you don't have a homestead exemption. If you are able to take the homestead exemption, that is your primary residence, that rate drops down to about 2.6%. or $7,000 a year, or about $600 a month for a home in the Grand Prairie. If you're over 65, you can get that over 65 exemption. Your rate drops down to 1.77 and about $4,800 a year, or $400 a month for the over 65 exemption at that $275,000 value. If you go to 450, so kind of halfway between the low and the high end in the Grand Prairie, you're looking at about a 2.83% tax with homestead at $12,700 or $1,063 a month, or $9,800 with over 65 exemption, or $817 a month. Effective tax rate of about 2.18. So you're looking, if you do the calculator and we assume about a 2.8 at a 4, well, I'd say 2.6 at a $275,000 house, at 3.5% down payment, so about $9,600. With your taxes and your insurance and your PMI, you're looking at about $2,500 to $2,600 a month is what you're looking at, with about $10,000 down plus closing costs. If you wanted a 20%, if you had 20% to put down, so about $55,000, you'd be looking at about $2,100 a month for a $275,000 house in the Grand Prairie. Again, if you're buying, say, a $450,000 house with 20% down, you need about $90,000 down plus closing costs, and you'd be looking about $3,500 a month, including taxes and insurance and all that good stuff. So there you have it. That is the Grand Prairie in Hockley, Texas. It is definitely a good spot to look if you are in the market and you're looking for something that's a little more affordable but still has good schools and going to have good amenities for you and your kiddos to play, still relatively close to shopping and dining in Cypress and to Katy, and within a 45-minute commute of downtown or the Energy Corridor or the Woodlands. It actually has a lot of stuff going for it. So I will probably talk more about kind of pros and cons, a little more details on what I think about the Grand Prairie, but this is kind of a good overview if you're looking. If you have any questions, my name again is Jim Mulholland. My company is Sci-Fi Real Estate. I am happy to help. Thanks for watching.